enough of the right content? So where are you getting your content from? How exactly are you using it? When are you sharing it? There's a lot that we got to talk about today, Mr. Perrin. By the way, how do these lights look? Compliments of AWOL Digital. How do I look? Am I beautiful? Do I look gorgeous?
Yeah, we're upgrading. So slowly over time, accumulating more gear to make this podcast look great. We started with the road stuff, now upgrading with the lighting. Thank you, Mr. AWOL. We don't have him here today, unfortunately. But we do have a great topic to talk to you guys about. And are you posting up for the right content? So Ross, what are you getting in here? What are we talking about here?
Well, we got to talk about kind of, you used the word supplemental strategy, supplemental content strategy earlier. We didn't put that in the title, but I love that. I think that's absolutely perfect. So let's just kind of clear our minds and put yourself in the head of a regular daily content creator, someone that's, busting their ass every single day to put out, new content on YouTube, live streaming on, Twitch, Mixer, Facebook Gaming, all that. What else are you doing? Are you supposed to be doing anything else? Because 90% of the content creators that I see on YouTube they're just stopping with that. And you're not going to like this conversation because this conversation is ultimately going to end with you have to do more work. But unfortunately, that's the kind of the game we're in here. So you have your normal strategy where you're live streaming on YouTube, you're doing your videos and stuff like that. But is that enough taking the approach to social media then? Is that enough to actually keep your audience engaged? Is that enough to actually build a trusting relationship with your audience? And the answer is, for most people, it's not. You're going to have some kind of other strategy, whether that be, and we'll cover this more intensely, but whether that be having clips from your streams and actually just directly uploading those to your social media platforms, using memes. That's a great one that people think is childish for some reason, but it's actually a great strategy for content. Am I missing anything here? Obvious. I mean, and by the way, any of these things that I'm talking about strictly direct posting, not linking off your YouTube page or anything, just content, just for your audience to digest.
So I think the expectation of audiences now for creator types, for watching creator type content, is that there's more. There's more than just the VODs on YouTube. There's more than just the regular live streams. They expect a deeper and closer access and connection to you. And this is the difference between Hollywood movie stars or famous musicians. Actually, maybe not so much famous musicians, but definitely Hollywood. And your YouTube creator internet fame. YouTube creator internet fame, what it's led to in terms of audiences is you have to give them access to you as the creator. And you have to do that more than just what you're doing in your videos. And you have to do that more than just posting that same video content on every different avenue or posting promotions to your YouTube videos on every different avenue. When I say different avenue, I mean Twitter, Facebook, the sphere of social media sites. I always call them avenues. So with that expectation, we come to this question: are you doing enough content with your content strategy? And this is the major challenge. I think this is the challenge of creators. Even I struggle so much with this personally. With it can take all of our effort just to be getting the YouTube content out there right and well and good, that thinking about adding on the Instagram strategy and the Twitter strategy and the Facebook strategy, like holy hell, that is a lot to do. How can you possibly do all of it? Is there a way to begin to do this? I mean, obviously creators can do it, right? It's been done and it's doable now. How are they doing it? Do we know, Ross? What are some lean content strategy ideas here?
Well, for one, the content strategy that I'd recommend, the supplemental content strategy, if you will, it's just curation. It's curation of gaming memes and stuff like. I'm assuming that we're talking about gaming channels here. So if we're not, this can apply to anything. But just gathering regular content, just gaming memes, and you can literally find those anywhere on the internet.
I think a lot of people would look at that strategy as you're just reposting. It's just reposting, and that's always looked at negatively. That's not the case. I mean, you have to look at the way the internet works, and the way the internet works is good content gets shared, irregardless of whether you want it to be reshared or not. And that's the way it's going to be, and that's the way it should be, realistically. So find content out there that's good, that you relate with, that would relate with your audience. Repost it, but repost it with credit to like the original author when you can, right? I mean, that's the rule that you should stand. You should give credit where credit is due. But you don't have to constantly, as a creator, not all creation has to come from you. It's kind of a simple concept. You can take creations from others that you like and share those. That is the nature of social media to begin with. And YouTube is a social media site. You know, Twitch is a social media site. You can reshare content. So what Ross will do is he'll comb the internet for internet memes. He runs a gaming, humor, and news account. And they're not always memes, but normally they're funny, relatable. It's gaming, humor, and news. So funny and relatable. And they're normally kind of meme-like, or they take like shots from pop culture and insert gaming culture into it. And he takes that stuff and he reposts it. And part of the value of that account then is not that it's just stealing other people's content or something. It's not. It provides credit. But it's that it curates for you. And it does the job for anybody, for any gamer. It does the job for you of going through the internet and finding great, funny content and posting it in one place for you. It's more along the lines of provides a service. So, and it's very lean to do. Yes, it can take some time to curate and go out to the internet, but once you have places to gather from, you can build up a collection and easily schedule additional content out on your feeds, like Twitter and Facebook, that isn't your video, that you don't have to create from the ground up. I'm going to do a quick check real quick to see if he's...
I'm here. I'm good.
Oh, you're here. You're back. All right.
Yeah. No, I don't know what happened. Zoom, by the way, they have a mandatory update today for people wondering, and they feel like the perfect time to do that is right in the middle of this podcast. So I apologize. This one was out of my control, at least.
Okay. So I don't know how much you caught. Let me just pick you back up to speed. I was just talking about your content curation strategy and how you utilize that on the Gaming, Humor, and News VGF Gamers account, and how that is... why that's good. You know, that actually provides a service. It might just seem like we're just taking other people's content and reposting it, but it actually provides a service by getting all of that relatable content to the eyes of gamers without them having to go do the curating and searching themselves.
Yeah, as long and I caught the part where you're talking about giving credit and stuff. And you know, if you can give credit, that's great. Let me tell you about why I actually don't give credit. But what I used to give credit back in the first couple of years of running it, that, you know, if I saw a meme or something, I'd always tag the page. And it got to the point where it's just, there's so many memes. It's so oversaturated now where I will have 5-6 people sending me the same meme, all claiming that they made it. And at some point, there's just no way to track down who actually did it. So then all of a sudden you're giving credit, and there's only a 10% chance that you're actually giving credit to the right person, which opens up a whole nother can of wormholes. And, you know, oftentimes I also see where if because I create a lot of the memes that I post on VGF Gamers, I will post something and then somebody will go take that meme and share it on Reddit, come back and message me and accuse me of taking it. So, I mean, that's just how the meme game works. There's nothing you can do about it. They're memes. If you want credit for your memes, just put your branding on it. And then, you know, if somebody posts it and you want credit for it, just send them a message. Be like, hey, can you give me credit for that? Don't do the dick move where, you know, you're just hounding people like, oh my God, you stole my meme that took me 8 seconds to create. It's like, dude, this is the internet. Welcome to 2020. Memes get shared everywhere. Now, I do think you obviously don't want to go and like download somebody's YouTube content, somebody that they've put, you know, like hours and hours and hours of hard work and post it up like that. You definitely don't want to do that. But when it just comes to memes and, you know, maybe like gameplay clips or something, if you can't track down the original source, I personally just don't worry about it, because it doesn't do any good at this point to keep crediting people when you don't know who you're crediting. Just opens up a wormhole. But for the whole strategy, you know, it sounds stupid. It's like, oh God, they're just sitting here doing an episode about memes. Memes are important. Memes are incredibly important to your content strategy. And just saying that out loud, I kind of almost laugh a little bit. But what memes do, there are three branches of entertainment on social media that are guaranteed to work every single time. The first one being humor, the second one being food, and the third one being animals. Those are those three categories that work all the time. So by adding these extra, memes or clips or something to your regular content strategy, actually adding it, creating a schedule on social media, all your social media platforms, and sharing it on there, what that does is that then establishes kind of a subconscious trust. Establishes a trust between your audience because you're making them laugh. Laughter is one of the best ways to gain somebody's trust. And I know that sounds really, sounds very far-fetched when you're just talking about doing it over social media. But you have to think over the time of doing 500 posts, 1,000 posts, 2,000 posts like that, you actually really develop a legitimate trust with your audience. They know that they're going to laugh when they come to your page. When they see your page come up, subconsciously, they're already setting themselves up for that mood of being entertained. So it is incredibly important to actually have this, extracurricular content as part of your strategy, to where it's not just, like parents said, not just links to your YouTube video, like, oh, I just created a video, go watch this. They have no reason to watch it. Nobody in your audience is going to go watch a video that you linked on Twitter that says, I just made this video and stuff like that. They have no reason to. They don't trust you. They don't know who you are. By posting the extracurricular secondary content, like we're talking about with memes, that's your way to establish the trust. That's your way that over a long period of time that you can pick up interest from your audience, and then eventually they will start gradually going and checking out your other things because you've established that trust. So, it sounds like stupid that we're doing an episode about memes, but it's actually very important. And I credit it 100% for the growth of VGF gamers, obviously.
Yeah. So I think the content curation is a solid way to start out when you're just beginning, because we all know like some of the supplemental content that we need to do, right? As creators, like, we gotta take photographs of ourselves out in the world doing things on Instagram. We gotta, tweet about our thoughts and opinions on stuff in our interest sphere that we create about. I think the problem with that in the beginning of your creator journey is nobody cares about you because you aren't anybody yet, and because of that, it's hard to get a following off of that strategy in the very, very beginning, maybe. So doing something where you're curating content that isn't necessarily about you yet, and it's about your interest set, the things that your audience relate to. And I think that's the important thing, is like looking at who your target audience is. What do they want? What do they want to consume? What can they relate to? What situations do they find funny? And building your content strategy around that in a lean way. Let's go back to our question here. Are you making enough of the right content? I think the eternal answer for that as a creator is probably no. I don't think, because there's always more that we could do, but don't get lost and defeated in that. I think we're all in the same boat there. You do what you can, and as you grow and you expand and you gain more resources, you're able to do more. So don't defeat yourself with like, oh man, I got to do so much more. How am I ever going to do it all? We're all in the same boat. Okay. There's always an infinite amount more of content we could be doing. So that we're not talking like how many YouTube videos you should be doing per day. That's a different kind of topic here. This is like how much content on all of the places you're supposed to be on as a creator should you be doing. And there's just too much. So you do what you can. Pick and choose your battles, pick and choose your fights, but do them intelligently. Fit content and pick strategies that are going to help you get out lean, quick, easy content sometimes that are going to help you.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Are you done, Perrin?
No, you're good.
Okay.
No, you're good.
No, I was going to say, I kind of lost my train of thought, but what I was kind of leaning towards is it's the 80-20 rule that AWOL always talks about. This can also apply here. And let me tell you why. look at the content that from your YouTube channel, your live streaming. Look at those links. Anything you use to promote your videos, your gaming content creation, or just straight up content creation. When you're first starting out, or even until you've really established yourself, you need to look at that as an advertisement. So anytime you post that to social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, if you are promoting yourself, you need to look at that 100% as an advertisement, because it is. These people don't know you. It's the same exact situation as if when you're seeing a product come up on your timeline that you don't know about. This is the same situation that your followers are in. So by applying the 80-20 rule, and that's what we do for content, we actually apply the 80-20 rule for any kind of link, any kind of advertisement, anything like that. In the 80-20 rule, that means 80% of what you post is actually initially starting off probably the secondary content that we've been starting about. Because like we said, that's kind of how you establish trust. That can help you sort of grow. And then that 20% should be used to actually start promoting yourself. Now, as you pick up more steam, obviously you can mix and match. I don't even include taking clips from your actual streams and videos and putting them, directly up there. I don't consider that even an advertisement. An advertisement for me is anytime, even whether you're being paid or not, anytime you're sending somebody off platform. So like on Twitter, your little links that, go watch my YouTube video. That's an advertisement. So complement it. And it's interesting that we say this. We're talking about how supplemental content strategies like memes. And now I'm kind of saying, well, you need to be posting more of it. Okay. So let's look at this like a dinner plate. All right. You have your hamburger, you got your meat. All right. That's the big item. That's your YouTube videos and stuff like that. But a lot of the times you actually have more food around it. You got your mashed potatoes, you got your salad, your macaroni and cheese. God, I'm fat. I'm just hungry now. And that's kind of your supplemental strategy. That's the other piece of the content that help make the meal, or in this case, actually help, make your strategy work.
So it's building all of the pillar pieces of content around your main content. And I think this is also where you can get into if you curate well and you reshare well. This is how you can collaborate and find other creators that are in your space, and you can begin to engage with them by sharing their content and talking about their content, commenting on their content, and engaging with it. I feel like there's so much to do, but you hit on, I think, one of the most important things earlier in this link trust. It's on your accounts. You do, no matter what you're doing, no matter how much content you're posting, you need to be thinking about, is what I'm posting gaining the trust of my audience? Are they trusting me to post this content? Or are you deviating from that in some way and breaking that trust? Link trust is so important because it leads to your account having promotional power, which means you can actually put a link there and have people go to it because they trust you. They trust what you're posting. They trust what you're saying to be true. And if you're saying you should click this link, you can go do it. So the 80-20 rule, be careful with when you're trying new content, that it's not something that deviates. Like, all right, for example, let's say I'm doing, let's say that I'm a makeup vlogger, right? Obviously I'm not, but let's just, for the sake of argument, just say that I am. And I do that stuff. And on my social accounts, I talk about, the different new makeup palettes that are coming out. I comment on them. I talk about, and I show pictures of them. I order them to show off on my YouTube channel. And then suddenly I throw in content there around politics, right? That is going to completely destroy the trust of my audience because they were there trusting I was going to be talking about beauty products and things like that. But then I totally hit them with a more jarring topic. Now you can bridge the gap into other topics. Let's say I was a beauty blogger, but I started talking about a video game that I like to play. That could actually transition okay, because if the people who are there are interested in me for my content and they're interested there for the beauty stuff, they might have a transition interest in what I like to do in video games that could interest them. You also might break off and alienate some others. So it could fracture a little bit, but it could also overlap a little bit. You have to be careful a little bit with what you branch out into. Do you have any rules or any strategies, Ross, in terms of knowing like what's going to be good to branch into and what's not?
If you can, the easiest thing, I call it 1 degree of separation. If you can find 1 degree of separation between you and the topic that you want to go to, like the example that you just made was really good. Like if there was a video game about, beauty products or something like that. Another like just off the top of my head, like if you're playing The Witcher and all of a sudden you're like, oh, speaking of The Witcher, I'm reading this great book on witchcraft. Like, if you can make 1 degree of separation between it, that's the only time that I actually find it's acceptable to branch off. Other than that, I mean, there are other situations like rare situations where, I mean, like if you're reaching out for like to help somebody or something like that, if you're making like a PSA, like a couple months ago when Nashville was hit with terrible tornadoes, it really tore up the city. I put up on VGF Gamers like, hey, not gaming related. If anyone in Nashville needs help, just let me know. Like, so obviously there are situations where that can apply where you can go off brand if you need to, especially if it's in public interest. But 1 degree of separation. And that's really difficult to do because a lot of people use their social media and stuff like that is their outlet. That is their place to have a voice. That is their place to have a conversation about everything that's going on in the world. But the challenge you have to make then, and is it worth it? Because like you said, talking about politics, you're immediately alienating 50% of your audience when you talk about politics. Like there's no way around that. So if you absolutely have to, make sure there's that 1 degree of separation. Make sure you can tie it in to your brand or your content strategy somehow. Otherwise, I mean, it's just, I don't think it's worth it. I can't recommend it, obviously.
I do think once you hit kind of a higher level of being a creator, it can more easily branch out and you'll be okay. Because when you're smaller or medium size, not everybody cares about your opinions on everything. They mostly care about like that one thing they found you for, that little sweet spot that you made your unique flavor of being a creator. When you get bigger, I think more people are just interested in you as a creator and the fact that you're big. So they care about your opinion on more things because you're successful, and that's different. So I do think it gets different as you climb the ladder and go up. While on your journey, keep that in mind. When you're at these smaller, medium levels, I like the way you said it, Ross. I think it's an easy way to remember it. 1 degree of separation in terms of trying out the new things. Do not overwhelm yourself with having to do all of this content. Yes, there's like an endless amount to do. But instead of trying to figure out how to do that or worrying yourself about, can I do this endless amount? It's so much. Don't overwhelm yourself. Do what you can and try to be smart in finding ways to fill the gap. Try to enlist help if you can. Sometimes that's easier and cheaper than trying to do it all yourself. I think as creators, we can get stuck in is like, I gotta create all of it. I am the creator, right? I have to craft and make everything, right? No, you don't. You can enlist help. You can search for help. And a lot of time as you're growing, there are going to be people who want to help you on your journey. And those are the times to help bring them in to help fill those gaps. So don't overwhelm yourself. There's so much out there to do. There's like an endless amount. And that's the same. We're all in the same boat together with that one. So I think we maybe end it there. I feel like that's a strong closing thought, and it's a positive note. So happy Friday, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll be back bright and early on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. If you guys love the podcast, please check us out on Apple Podcasts. Give us that 5-star rating. We love to see it. Ross, have a good weekend, you too.
Yeah, you too. I'm looking for a content-filled weekend. Use your time wisely. Go grab some content this weekend and share it to all your social media platforms.
Sounds great. Take care, everybody.